So, because I always find that so strange about America, only because we have the worst health outcomes than almost any industrialized country in the world. So,
I agree, especially with maternal mortality, like you were
yeah,
saying, the Roe v. Wade. We
yeah,
have some work to do. I feel as though the decision that was made was tremendously disappointing. Um, it has set us back hundreds of years. People will die because of those decisions, and they're going to have to figure out a way to make it change. They're going to have to figure out a way for women to gain autonomy over their bodies. They're gonna have to figure out a way for women to stay safe. They're gonna have to figure out a way for us to have access to care, because if people are leaving the states where it's quote unquote banned or whatever, legally banned, they're either going to get backdoor abortions, or you're going to lose lives because women are having miscarriages or ectopic pregnancies and things like that. One of my friends um, had an issue last year when she was pregnant and she had preeclampsia, and they had to decide whether or not she would live or get rid of it. So if she had lived in Texas or something, and this had been 6 months later than when it happened, she wouldn't be here today. So there are always issues. And even if someone just wants to get an abortion, like, it should be their personal decision. It has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with you. It's between them and their doctor. Um I do I'm very concerned about the future of what's going to go on. Like we said, we've seen how the mortality rates in women, period, are high in childbirth. That's why back in the day, everyone, all the kings and stuff, if you learn history, they'll be like, Mom died in childbirth. Because childbirth is dangerous. Like, that's why we have modern medicine. So we're gonna have to figure out ways to move forward. There is still accessibility to medical abortions, which are the abortion pill. A lot of the telemedicine for women's health organizations are able to ship that to women, but everyone doesn't qualify for that depending on your situation. So some people, and then sometimes even if you do take that pill, it's a really good pill, but sometimes it doesn't work, and you have to have a procedure after that. So there are so many things that have come as a result of people who are not in medicine making decisions legally about what should be done. So number one, we're gonna have to have people advocate. We're gonna have to do all the things that people should be doing, vote, all of that kind of stuff, especially because this is a midterm elections year. But we're also going to have to figure out ways to reach out and support these organizations who are standing up for women, and also figure out how to speak more openly about what is going on in each other's lives, because a lot of times women haven't shared that they've had a miscarriage or haven't shared this, and then you hear it and there's all these people in the room. If you have these shared experiences, it shouldn't be taboo. So just like we're talking about racism and we talked about that used to be taboo, don't talk about these other things that are going on in your life, so you can figure out how to get a support system and how to move forward.
So, how does that look for minority and Black women specifically?
More people are going to die. The people who are going to suffer the most are people who are underserved, uninsured, who have these healthcare disparities. Most of the time, that's the majority of Black women. We've already seen that our maternity mortality rates are about 3 times the rate of white women right now. We've seen how people like Serena Williams, who has all of that money, almost died because people didn't advocate and believe for her pain when she was having her daughter, and she actually had blood clots in her lungs and nobody believed her. So if she can't advocate for herself or have someone say, go give her this, like what are people who don't have money, who have their kids at home, who don't have insurance, who can't travel hours to get somewhere? You see how big Texas is. Like, to have that ban, Oklahoma, like to have that ban with those massive states, how long are you going to drive to go and get something? You don't give people time off. You don't give them maternity leave. You don't give them miscarriage leave. You don't give them paid anything. A lot of these companies are coming for it now where they're saying they'll pay you for
like travel expenses and
travel expenses and things. We have to ask these organizations, yes, thank you for that, but what else are you going to do? Are you still going to continue to donate to these politicians who are making these laws, or are you going to take your money back? So we have to push and we have to advocate and continue to do it, and we have to call out people who aren't doing anything.
I'm always haunted by a picture from a New York a New York newspaper that showed a woman who died from illegal abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think it's going to take? We have so many voices in our ear about how Black people, our vote doesn't matter. And you have so many voices in our ear about how it doesn't, how we can't change anything in this country. How do you give these? I'm trying to figure out a way, especially with healthcare, because the disparities are so great. How do we push that agenda forward and get the people in the community to understand that this is important?
That's a great question. I think that you're doing your part by having conversations like this and reaching a broad audience. We definitely have to work with organizations that have similar beliefs and have done things to move the efforts forward. We have to study what happened in the past, because the past history repeats itself, so nothing's new under the sun. So we have to take notes from what happened in the women's suffrage and the civil rights movement, what organizations were alive, which ones are supposedly advocating for us now. We have to figure out how to influence other people to use their voice, like we were talking about, in terms of allies, because to be honest and transparent, we did our part in 2020 as Black women. Black men did not do their part. White women did not do their part. That 53%. So now we see where we are because voting has consequences. So now we're in this place and we have to come together to pull ourselves up and figure out how we can encourage everyone to advocate for change. And we have to not be discouraged because it seems bleak, because it seems like every day there's a new law that's coming out from the Supreme Court. Like, how can you on one day say that states don't have the decision to create laws about guns, but then they have the decision to create the laws about abortions? Like, and it's not just an abortion issue. So it's a right to human rights and to human health and to privacy, because no one should even know what's going on between a woman and her doctor.